Yo, what is good YouTube? I am Richard Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Adidas Exhibit B. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also please hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the Adidas Exhibit B features like this radial nub traction pattern up in the forefoot. And then, you just have like these nubs scattered around for the rest of the shoe. And, I would say for the most part, the traction is just okay. If you are playing on your clean courts, you really won't have any issues at all. The stops on clean courts is actually really good. But if you are playing on your average courts, like your 24-hour fitness, your LA fitness, depending on how dusty it is, you might be sliding to stops. I never had issues of like completely slipping out. But you will notice that you aren't stopping as well as you should be. You'll just, kind of slide to a stop. It's not too big of a slide or anything like that, but it is definitely noticeable. And, if you need to be super quick on your feet, super shifty, you're definitely going to feel the effects of the slide because the traction, just doesn't perform as well on those dustier courts. You can kind of help that by wiping here and there, but also at the same time, I think it's just like the overall traction setup. Where you might have like a couple good stops and then you're gonna slide. But even then, even after you wipe, you will still slide a little bit. In my experience, I never had like a stop on a dime type of performance on those dustier courts. So overall, the traction is okay. If you are playing on your cleaner courts, you'll be fine. But if you're playing on your dustier courts, you should expect to slide to a stop majority of the time. So moving on to the cushion, the Adidas Exhibit B features a full-length Light Strike midsole. And the Light Strike in here pretty much feels like Light Strike in, the main Light Strike shoes, I guess. In the heel, you do have a very thick chunk of Light Strike, which you can see is like pretty massive. And in the forefoot, it does thin out as it should. So in the heel, the Light Strike feels really, really nice. It is very, very cushiony. You get a lot of impact protection, and you really feel the kind of like spring back, I guess, because of maybe not just the setup, but like the shape of this Light Strike. It really feels like if you're doing really hard heel landings or something like that, you can kind of feel it just propel you forward if you're like sprinting down the court or something. And in the forefoot too, even though it does thin out, you do actually get a little bit of that softness from the Light Strike. So you do have some impact protection as well. But this is definitely not the most responsive setup of Light Strike because of, how cushiony this Light Strike is. Just compared to, other models that do have Light Strike, I would say, this is less responsive, less court feel, and more of that comfortable feeling of Light Strike. Don't get me wrong, the court feel isn't bad or anything, but it's definitely not like other Light Strike setups where it is pretty dead in the forefoot. So yeah, just keep that in mind about this Light Strike setup. Still, I really did like it. Overall, the Light Strike in the shoe feels really good. So moving on to the materials, the Exhibit B features pretty much an entire mesh upper. This mesh upper serves as the base for the whole shoe. You do have some like fuse overlays here and there just for the added durability, such as on the medial side of the toe box as well as the lateral side. You do also have those fuse hits in like the middle of the shoe just for, I guess, like mainly aesthetics, as well as on the medial side, the fuse actually forms the Adidas 3 stripes. So yeah, that's pretty much the entirety of the shoe is this mesh, which is backed by some kind of, material underneath. And you do actually have these hits of quote unquote, like premium-ish materials, like around where the eyelets are. You do have like this synthetic leather piece, which, feels okay. It's a nice little touch. Even on this one, I'm not sure if you all can see this, but there's actually a B right here that's stitched in for, I'm assuming, the Adidas Exhibit B. Moving towards the tongue, you do have like a standard mesh tongue. I would say it's pretty decently padded as well. So if you do like to crank down your laces, you won't have any issues of feeling those laces digging into your foot. Overall, from a material standpoint, obviously this isn't the most premium in terms of the quality, but it does get the job very well in terms of that performance. So moving on to the fit, I would say that the Exhibit B does run true to size. If you are a wide footer though, please be careful because it is pretty narrow, and you do have like these plastic pieces right here that you will feel digging into your foot if you don't get your right size. So yeah, wide feet, I would say go up a half size. Everyone else, I think going true to size is fine. Just make sure you all be careful if you do have those wide feet. So narrow footers, standard footers, or normal footers if you want to call it, go true to size. Wide footers, go up a half size. The materials lie pretty nicely over my feet. You know, there was like barely any dead space, if at all, in the toe box area. And everywhere else, you did feel very, very comfortable. You are very snug in the heel area as well. And then, you know, this is a half booty upper, so it's going to give you as close of a one-to-one fit as possible. So yeah, overall, the fit in here is very good. It's very, very snug. Just be careful if you do have wide feet. So moving on to the support, I would say that the support in here was perfectly fine. I didn't have any issues at all. You do have an internal and external heel counter. This green piece is actually like a little plastic, which I think is, you know, part of the external heel counter. Along with the padding in the heel, you know, I didn't have any heel slippage at all. In terms of the side-to-side movement on the footbed, I didn't have any of that as well. The materials do a great job of keeping your foot planted on the footbed, as well as, you know, the foam actually does wrap up onto the upper of the shoe, which acts as a sidewall basically, so your foot isn't sliding anywhere. And then in terms of those lateral movements, this is a very wide base. You don't have an actual outrigger created by the outsole, but the midsole does protrude out to kind of act as an outrigger. So you're going to be covered on those lateral movements. And then as far as the torsional rigidity and stability goes, I'm actually not sure if there's a midfoot shank in here, but this is pretty stiff and rigid, so you're also covered there as well. Like I said, you know, the support in the shoe was good. It doesn't have anything like too fancy or anything like that, but it definitely gets the job done very well. So the Exhibit B retails for $120, and for $120, I would say that this is a pretty good performer. You know, really the only issue for me is the traction. You know, I play on my local gym courts, and you know, they're most of the time dusty, and because of that, you know, I was sliding to stops rather than, you know, being able to stop on a dime. However, when I did play on a very clean court, that is when I experienced that stop on a dime type of traction. So yeah, you know, if you're playing on your dusty courts, expect to slide around a little bit, and you're gonna have to wipe here and there. But yeah, you know, everything else was really good. I really enjoyed the cushion setup in here, and everything else is just, you know, overall very solid. So if you all wanted to pick up a pair of these, I'll leave a link for you down in the description box below. That's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below. And also please hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this. Also, while you're at it, check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.